I mean, how diggity. I mean, I can't really talk about, magic and shit like that when we're getting some magic like this, you know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen, because, I mean, I know it's been getting hot recently in the UK, but, I mean, I want to be in that hot spring. I'm just not gonna lie. When you gotta appreciate a little bit of, like, what they got all around here for this, and I can't believe I'm saying it, like, in 2 times, in this video. Yes, we've got the plot of this, like, entire chapter, but then there's a little bit of plot as well when they actually wrapped everything up. So I was like, with a lot to do with Silver as well. I can't believe I'm fucking doing this. I thought I was trying to get away with some of the stuff from Fairy Tail, but nah, let's just get into it. This is the true successor of Fairy Tail. Like, I think this, well, like, 111 just, like, surmounted it like that. We're looking at something about that fine booty like that. Let's just talk about the hot spring, like, just episode of every show in the series and all that, but let's just get into it and all that. Let's see Black Clover's version. So even though, like, shit, like, basically by this amount of, like, how this would destroy the planet, the volcano just kept going off continuously. Like, there's, like, if it was onto this level anyway on the volcano at the screen, and it's just like, oh no, it just turns itself off at night, don't worry about that. And then even, like, Miliona is like, yo, you guys who fucking failed, you're doing this shit tomorrow. I don't give a shit. This is training. You're doing it. And it's like, you fucking maggots learn and all that. It's like, yeah, guess what happens when it finally ends? You get a nice sauna, which sounds the most dangerous thing in the world and all that. That right in the center is like, that's where the water comes out at night. And I'm like, oh, okay. I know obviously with like all the saunas and all that's not getting sort of like the heat and all that from natural sources and all that when you see some of the stuff. But Jesus Christ, when you're in the center of this volcano, I can't help but shit myself if anything were to happen with this one. And of course they're like, yeah, you get in. And Leona's like, I don't really care. Everyone just joined the fucking boys, like, alike. And then she was like, that piece of shit and all that. That's with, like, the one that Yami's into, like, she's like really into Yami. She's like, oh, the men will not see, my sister's body like that, like naked body. And she just does earth magic. It's just like, yeah, you get on that fucking side already. Although they're still on the top there, like, jumping, like, they could have easily just gone, yeah, we're just gonna change here. And the first thing you get is immediately just all the girls, like, straight there. Like, you get to see a bit of Silver, Miliona, all of them, and I'm like, that fine view. And like Miliona, like, everyone else is like a little bit more considerate and stuff like that. Miliona don't give it much. She's got a towel at the back. Good old fucking sauna. Got a booze next to her. Like, I like these kind of chicks. I like ones who don't give a fuck, who's strong, back it up, and she's like, you know what, knock back a drink while having soaking up in this water is the fucking best. Because guess what? You ever been in a fucking jacuzzi before with some drinks and all that? Is the fucking best thing in the universe and all that. Trust me, Aussie, when you're all old enough and all that, I know some of the people are, but when you're old enough and you go like that, trust me, it's fucking great. You go in there. If not, go and run a jacuzzi or sauna or something, and you have a fucking fresh cold drink afterwards. It is the best fucking thing. Like, and I can't believe I'm getting into this. Like, she's actually there, not only trying to get like fucking friend like Joe, like, yo, Charlotte, come and get drunk with us and all that. And like, you know what, getting in, and like her little like friend, like sort of like who always calls her sister, like washing down like Silver as well, saying like, yeah, you get down on that, and she's like, I can wash myself. Like, fucking everyone in that back, the other side and all that. Getting mad salty as fuck like that, and even like Noelle is thinking that as well. It's like, like with everyone as well, it's like, I hope we don't see any of the other guys and all that, like, about that. Even Charlotte as well is thinking about like, oh god, Jami's over there naked like that, and it's like, Charlotte, you want that big old captain ass right there. And she just like, I love how she just like passes out, like practically just dies in the water. Like, it's just a joke chapter through and through for the most part. If it wasn't for the fact that like why like Miliona actually like is a little bit more like serious with like Noelle, if anything, it's because of the fact there's like we actually know like your mother and all that. Like, I knew her as well. She's the one that like, you're the spitting image of that, and you like, I was pretty much trained under her, and like, even though like she's saying like, I've been undefeated in the battlefield, I could never once beat her in combat. And I was like, okay, so it wasn't in general that fact that your entire legend is just like, whenever she's been in a war or something, she's been undefeated. It's just that point. I was like, oh, alright, I was assuming that your whole shtick was the fact that no one's ever beaten you before and that you were high and mighty, but the more we've ever seen of Miliona, she's like really more like actually kind of a little bit more considerate about the matter and everything, and we finally get to see a little bit about like her mother as well, and like we actually didn't know a little bit now. So we actually know her name as well. Like, she was known as the Steel War Princess, like Asia Silver, and you get to see like her magic from what we assume from there was the fact that like she was using the liquid like all the other like what we've seen of like all of Noelle's like brothers and sisters, is that they use the magic, and this time she coats herself. So I feel like this is something that like Noelle could actually learn later on. She could actually learn this kind of magic and be a lot more like a mother, and like she was the fact that she's using a lance in this arm. I thought that's really actually kind of cool, and she was like, she was apparently like she was described as like she was like never like I was never able to beat her, and the fact that she was dancing around like she was a true princess that like all like completely mesmerized everyone with her strength and beauty. Like I completely admired her for that. And that's like why I'm saying like you're nothing like that. You're unrefined. You're a piece of shit. Never has there been anyone with magic and just control and dignified her. I can't believe you came out that womb pretty much. And it's like that's why you got to pass her though. You got to go there. You see, you look like her. Your strength is unlike hers. It's your own, and you got to surpass it. And I would like to know if like Silver would learn something like that. I know like the fact that from what we've seen of it, hers is mainly water magic, and the rest of it is like we've seen with this kind of like weird like silver like that you can conjure there. I would kind of like to see if she can learn something like this, because I thought that's actually a really cool design that like her mother had and all that. What we got to see with that tiny bit of the flashback, I thought that was interesting, and that was practically it for the most part of the chapter. The rest of it is mainly jokes, as most of it has been, and it's like the fact of the matter is that like everyone else, like before, like you get to see Leo and everyone else is like having like this rivalry thing and all that, saying like, you piece of shit, that you get in here first, and it's like, and even though you're saying like it was a magic thing, I just learned it quickly and I could just fly over. That's how I was able to do it first. And the fact is that I was expecting one of the other characters to do it, but no, Yami. Fucking God, I love you, you fucking guy and all that. Like, he's just like, you're a man, we're men, right? Let's go take a peek at the women's bath like that. And it's like, everyone's like, this is okay to do that? And it's like, if you're born as a man, it's something you must do, even if it costs your very life. And I'm like, he is trying to hide his pervertedness with manliness, and I'm like, oh God, it's working. Oh, everyone's just like, this is what it means to be a man. But even like, Leo's like, no, I've been there with my brother and all that. That's why he also loved bass and shit like that. It's like, what are you trying to do, you straight-laced piece of shit? And you trying to like follow your brother, or are you trying to surpass him? And he's like, no, I'm going to surpass him, so I will be the man that like follow. And I'm like, oh my God, and all that. Like, I just love that. And like, Yami's fucking loving it, because he's just like, it's time to be a man. Let's look at these shitbags go in there. And Asta out of everyone ruins it as hell. Like, a lot of the other stuff would just go straight up like, oh, I'm gonna get in there and sing some titties and all that. But Asta ends it, whereas like, my heart belongs to the sister. And I was like, oh my God, I fucking forgot about that character completely, because I only got reminded of her recently because I saw the fucking Jump Festa OVA, and I'm like, I forgot, like, for a lot of part that's Asta's whole stick, because it's never really mentioned. We never see her. We haven't seen her since, like, the first couple of chapters, and it's like, oh, wow, alright then, like, there we go, like, it's like, and he's like, no, I am a man who gives his heart to sister, and sister alone, I will not peep, and, like, this just turns everyone off, and it's like, so he is just straight lady. He's like, I don't think a lot of people realize Asta wants that puss really bad, but he just wants the single puss like that, and it's like, there we go, that's the Hot Springs training camp just over. So what we learned from that is like people have learned to activate and control their powers a little bit better. Same thing as well with like we learned with Asta, he's able to use his form now, so that's going to definitely like help him a lot in battles. I'm very curious to see where he's going to be doing that with his next opponent, and where the story's going to be going since now that this little training like arc is kind of gone, because we've been like on a very slow stoke for a while. Like now, like how I've been talking about Clover has been like kind of an interesting one, as like I think it's been about 10 chapters or so. I like to say like it's ever been since like the end of the entire arc, and I'd like to say that was either like 102 or so, like that was mainly the ending of it, where we've just kind of been, not on a stump, but we've kind of just been like this giant break for Black Clover for a while, which you think about, that's quite a while. Like we're talking about 3 months like of like chapters and all that coming out. And don't get me wrong, they've actually been funny and they've been enjoyable, but like then again, I think a lot of us kind of wanted us to see like the progress, like the actual like plot and stuff like that. We want to see where it was going. And although we did get some training, I feel like as well it did took its while and all that for the series and all that. Like, since, you know, when was the last time, like, we're going to be having this, and I'm worried, like, if we get this as, like, you know, like, in an anime format and all that, I think this will turn a lot of people off. I think, like, as well, a lot of people just started reading Black Clover, and this is the point they catched up, and that's when it's like, not a huge break, but when it's just like, it's getting popular, and I feel like it's now taking this time with things, and I feel like a lot of, like, mangas, like, kind of do that, and then there's like, we want to do our own things, or like, let's have this jokey thing and stuff like that. Like, I feel that's wearing them, but still, it was fun. We learned something interesting and all that, like, about, like, with, like, Silver's mother, so at least that's something to come off. But considering that the other sort of magic series that we've seen when we've had bad shit and perverted shit and all that, like, when we're comparing it to, like, Fairy Tail's the fucking king of like, you know, like, titties everywhere. And then, obviously, the most that you get with herdness with all that with Sins is, like, you know, like, he's grabbing chest and all that, and you're seeing a little bit of, like, ass and all that. And this is the first real time that we've ever seen it in Clover, for the most part. Like, I think this is the part maybe we could throw a few character designs. Like, I feel like this is the first time that ever really did that, and I'm being like, okay, like, I feel like Clover not gets like a pass free from it, but it's like it's less like kind of like offensive where Fairy Tail be screaming it at you and all that. Well, like, and then Sins as well is like it's there, but then again, like it's like not as bad as like obviously with Fairy Tail's like edginess and all that. So I don't know, like I'm curious to see what you guys thought about this chapter, but that's all for me. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys though next time.